So why is it that God calls himself husband of the widow, but not wife of the widower? Well, I believe that this is because widowers will always find their way. Once you see a man, loses his wife, majority of them right away will go and find someone to marry. And society will make excuses for them. They'll be like, he's a man, he has some needs. Or they'll say, he's a man, he cannot take care of himself, to cook for himself, somebody to talk to, blah, blah, blah. They will make excuses for him. And most of the time, such men can go ahead and marry somebody that has never been married before, chassis. Nobody looks at them as if, there's something wrong with them. He's a widow. He's a widower. He's used goods. But that is not the same situation for women. A woman, once she's widowed, if she even dares to say, okay, let me go and remarry, within let's say even she says, okay, in 2 years' time, I will remarry, she will be accused, or she will be looked at strangely, and there'll be that accusation. Are you sure she's not the one that unalived her husband? Right? Now, even if she decides to say, okay, 2 years later, not to talk of if she goes right away 2 months, 3 months later and say, okay, I found someone, let me marry. They'll be like, surely we need to look into this. You'll come and swear in front of this deity or whatever that you didn't kill your husband, you didn't unalive your husband. But nobody does that to the man, because they feel like somehow women, we are magicians, we should be able to, manage ourselves somehow. But the men, they need help, save the men, they're so helpless, right? Now, the other thing is this: even if that, we're talking about if she ends up getting remarried, most of the times, once a woman's husband is unalive, she's kind of, she passes away, she becomes like a stigma. People will even begin to avoid her. This one that she married and the husband passed away, this and that. They will even label her as used goods. She's been married before, she has had children, there's nothing left to her. But even upon the fact that some of the men are labeling her as used goods, they will still not be the ones that will come and be trying to find ways to get, into a relationship with her, not that will end the marriage. And we see a lot of that going on. They want something from her. So we see that in the Bible. Bible even kind of was rebuking a lot of the Pharisees, and he was like, you people, you claim as if you pray in the day and everybody thinks you're holy, but at night you will not rest. You'll just be hovering over widows' houses trying to get something from them. So the Bible knows that people will take advantage of widows because of their vulnerability. Now, the sad thing also is, for widows, we're talking about why God calls himself a husband to the widow, not a wife to the widower. For widows, if a widow was a stay-at-home wife or mom before the husband passed away, you find out that she may not have any money or source of income, to be able to continue to take care of herself and the children when the husband passes away. And now, even if she was working before he passed, the fact is that a lot of women end up, even if they're working, they end up kind of doing work that is not so tasking, because society has given us that assignment of, okay, we're the ones that are, nurturing, we're the ones that must be the primary caregiver of the children. So you find out that even if a woman goes out there to work, she's doing work that just brings this some measure of money. She may not have enough money to cater for herself and the children that are left behind. And then the thing is, even if the man left something, a lot of times you find out that the family of the man will try to jump in and grab as much as they can, right? And the woman is left with nothing. Especially if they're not like in a developed country, or if she doesn't have access to legal services to help her fight and get what rightfully belongs to her. So God has seen all this systemic injustice and discrimination against widows, and that is why he identifies himself with widows, with the fatherless, and with all people that are oppressed in our societies. And because of that, he gives specific instruction that widows should be provided for, right? And also, because of these instructions, we find out that the early church made sure that widows were provided for. So they used to have like more or less like a food bank, where the widows every first day of the week or whatever, they would make sure that things were given to widows to take care of them. Now, why are we talking about this? It is good that God identifies himself as a husband of the widow, and it is good that he has instructed that these provisions be made for widows. But what I'm also learning from it, and what I think every woman should learn from it, is we need to be proactive when it comes to making sure that, we will be provided for, or that we will be okay. Nobody gets married and prays that anything will happen to their spouse, whether it's a husband or wife. I don't believe that anybody marries and prays that they will become a widow one day. That is not the prayer of anybody, and that is obviously not my prayer. But the thing is this: life happens. People pass away, the good pass away, the bad pass away, righteous men pass away, righteous women pass away, the wicked pass away, things happen to people, right? So when we bear that in mind, we will also realize that the Bible says that we should prepare for a rainy day, right? So what I would say that women should learn from this is we need to make provision for ourselves. Even before you get into marriage, even before children begin to come into the equation, it is important that we make sure that we have a source of income for ourselves. We make sure that we have a source of livelihood. And even before you have children, make sure that each child you give birth to, that you can take care of that child by yourself. Not because you're praying for evil or you're expecting evil, but because things happen. That's one thing. Another thing is this: when Bible says that there will be the poor will always be in the land, it is because it knows that there are a lot of people that will just take things for granted. Oh, things will happen. If it's happening, things are going well for me now, it will always go well. So women often fall into that category of the poor that will always be in the land. It's not just the men, it's also women that get married and they're like, oh, let me just marry a rich man, I'll be okay. Or the people that get married and they're like, oh, I give all my money to the salary to my husband. So many things that make women to become among the poor in the land. Gender poverty is a real thing. Go check the statistics. Women tend to be poorer, way poorer than men. And that is why they are very comfortable to call women gold diggers, because they know that women have been groomed to mostly rely on men, right? So my point is this: do all you can to remain fit for employment, even if you're married, or even if you choose, okay, this period of time, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. Do all you can to make sure you have your own money. Do all you can to make sure that you are fit for employment, even if you're doing part-time job or remote job, or at least you have a business. Make sure that you don't come to a place where there's such a gap in your employment history if you are into, working, if you have a career. Make sure that you don't have so much gap between your employment history that it becomes a problem for you to get back into the labor force. And if you are not into the labor force, do all you can to start something, have something doing. It is very important. It's good that we can trust that God will be a husband to the widow, but he wants us to be proactive by doing something to make sure that we don't fall into that statistics. Why go through unnecessary pain when we can make sure that we make the necessary provisions so that we don't fall into the statistics that God now has to come from heaven and start doing magic or miracles to save us. So just think about that and let me know what you think in the comment section.